This is Weekly Connection from Bliss Oasis Ministries, brought to you by Patrick Ngugi, religious sciences practitioner. This program comes to you every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. East African Time or 17 o'clock hours GMT. Please remember to like our Facebook page, Bliss Oasis Ministries, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And now, let's connect with Patrick Ngugi.
Evening. This is Weekly Connection, and it's our first episode that comes to you from Bliss Oasis Ministries. My name is Patrick Ngugi. In Weekly Connection, we will be meeting every week here to share various ideas, various experiences as far as our inner person is concerned, particularly looking at it metaphysically, spiritually, and not so much religiously. And as I said last week, I explained a bit about Bliss Oasis Ministries. Bliss Oasis is a part of Bliss Oasis Africa, which is a counseling business, which is headed by myself. And Bliss Oasis Ministries, which, as I said, is part of actually metaphysical arm of Bliss Oasis Africa. It's a non-religious but spiritual organization that possesses one infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing, and ever-present spirit, also known as God. Although it's known by different names from different cultures. Our mission is to shed light and enable individuals to rediscover and their connection with this one spirit in whom we live, move, and have our being. The spirit we dwell in and who dwells in us spontaneously. So this weekly meeting will be discussing various things, which some of it I believe will come from our followers, our listeners who will be following us. They may have questions, they may have comments, and they can always put them on the comment section below or send an email to us wanting for more. The same program that comes live every Sunday evening at 8 o'clock Kenya time, 17 hours GMT, will also be posted on Bliss Oasis Ministries YouTube channel, where you can go and like and share and follow us. And so in this first episode and the following number of episodes, apart from various discussions, we are going to discuss books by various metaphysical authors. And as we said the last time, as we mentioned in the introductory program, which we had the other day, we shall be looking at Your Sacred Self by Wayne Dyer. And as we shall always be starting this program on each week, we are going to start with what we call an invocation, and that is putting ourselves in the presence of our Creator, God. And so I welcome you and invite you to be within, to go within, and experience this power, experience this spirit, experience this love that flows through you as it flows through me and through all creation, knowing that all creation is in this power, and this power is in all creations. So we bring ourselves and surrender ourselves to this power as we gain wisdom and knowledge, which is coming to us through this program. And so it is. And so after invocation, each meeting that we're going to have, we're also going to remember in gratitude what has happened into our lives. Most of the time we do have our own stresses, our own issues, our own challenges. And that at these times we normally forget the blessings that we've had that have also punctuated those problems or those challenges, if we may call them challenges and problems. But most of the time, we don't look at these blessings. Instead, we just look for a problem to complain about. So in this time, we sit down and remember what has happened to us positively this week. And so in gratitude, we are thankful. We thank God, we thank the Spirit, we thank the universe for all the small blessings, all the small mercies, all the beautiful chances for beautiful opportunities, all the nice people, all the helpful people that we have come across, all the good people who have come to give us a word of consolation whenever we had a problem. We are thankful for the air that we breathe, for the food that we've had. And we also grateful for the blessings that are here with us and that are coming in future and that always been with us. We are so grateful for that. And we be always grateful for anything that comes, even the things that give us lessons. Rather than criticizing or rather than lamenting, we shall look at those which we call negatives as blessings also, because they are bringing lessons to us. And so it is. So I know you've had ups and downs in the week, like everybody. We have just started September, but we can create a beautiful September by our thoughts, by the way we think. And I think it was somebody who said once that the only way to create your future is the only way to predict your future is to create it. And how do you create it? You create it by the way we think, the way we look upon things. And that is a lesson we have said before. And we shall be repeating that again. And so today we also have what is thought of the week. And here let me share the thoughts of the quote of the week so that we can meditate on it. So this is our quote of the day, quote of the week. And it's from Catherine Dunham. And it says, go within every day and find inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out. Catherine Dunham. And we think about it briefly. It tells us to go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow our candle out. Yeah. So last week we spoke about the inner chamber, that place in between, that place within us. That's where she's telling us to go there, to go within. And every day, go within every day and find the inner strength, because we all have that inner strength. Sometimes we ignore it, but the more we go inside in the inner chamber to gather that strength, nobody out there will have the opportunity. They may have the opportunity to blow our candles out, but we shall always be strong because we have this inner strength that is within us that we always forget. And, so that we meet small obstacles or people who tell us off, we get disappointed and we get discouraged. So the inner strength, about going to go inward, that also rhymes with what we are going to say in Wayne Dyer's book as we start looking at it today, because as I said in this program, we shall be looking at, apart from the normal discussion, we shall be looking at various authors and their books, and we are serializing Wayne Dyer's book, which we shall go into very, very briefly. And so we have seen, we have talked about the quotation, go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle. We all carry our own candles. We carry our candles, our light, the light that is supposed to shine your way through, and so that you can understand what's happening around you, so that you know where you're going and so enlighten the paths that are in darkness. But if you don't go in every day, if you don't go to have time to meditate every day and look at how your life is going on and see how you can proceed further on, then it can be quite challenging. And so that was a contemplation for today about the quotation from Catherine Dunham. And so right now then we just jump into today's message. And today's message is actually the first part of our commentary of Wayne Dyer's book, Your Sacred Self. And Wayne Dyer, as let me share his book so that you may see what, at least the cover of the book, Wayne Dyer's book, the book that we'll be discussing. This is a book we shall be talking about as we go along. This is Dr. W. Wayne Dyer, a metaphysical spiritual author in the US. And this is a book that he has done a lot of books. But this is a book I've gone through myself and I found it very interesting. It's called Your Sacred Self, Making the Decision to Be Free. So you have to make a decision to be free. And we want to see what kind of freedom that Wayne Dyer is talking about. And Wayne Dyer, just speaking briefly about Wayne Dyer, towards the end of his life, which he passed on a few years back, that's Wayne Dyer. And you may want to know who is Wayne Dyer. So briefly, let me read about Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer was an American self-help author and motivational speaker. Dyer completed his diploma in education and guidance and counseling at Wayne State University in 1970. Early in his career, he worked as a high school guidance counselor and went to run a successful private therapy practice. But that's just a small bit about Wayne Dyer. That's just a small, that's what you'd call a small, what do they call that part of the iceberg? Tip of the iceberg. That's just small tip of the iceberg bit about Wayne Dyer. He has done a lot. And you can Google him up and see the kind of, work he has done. And so, we jump in right into his book. Into his book, what we call Sacred Self. And Sacred Self, we went through a bit of it last week, or rather, we did not really. We just spoke about it, if you remember. We spoke about the introduction where he speaks about the twins in their mother's womb, who are discussing, or rather, who are arguing about life after birth. One believes there's no life after birth, but the other believes there's life after birth. And so it was a very interesting discussion. But now here we are, as we start discussing the book. The way he starts the book in a very interesting way when he says that in all our lives, since we were, born up to now, we have been facing in the wrong direction. Yeah, we have been facing the wrong direction. How so? We have been facing the wrong way because we are always looking away from ourselves. Even when you sit there, wherever you're seated, if you're standing, wherever you're going, you are always looking outside yourself, always looking as far as away, always looking away from inside. You are always looking out there, going out there, checking, being pulled, being attracted by stuff that's outside you. Yeah. And so we usually never have this time to look inward and see what is within ourselves. And so he supposes, he asks a question, suppose something magical happened and you are able to turn and look within yourself, what would you find? And then this is where he introduced about divine energy. This divine energy, he says it is all over. It's in everything in the universe. And it's interesting because mankind has so far, we have told he has done a lot of research and gone to the moon, although some people don't believe that man actually landed on the moon. But we know man has always wondered what is out there. They've sent rockets to the moon, they've sent space probes to the distant stars and so on. But have they ever looked inside? Do they have a spacecraft or something that can go within ourselves and discover what is in ourselves? We've always gone to outer space, looked at things out there, outer space, but have we ever looked at the inner space? Talking about inner space, there have been a few movies that have been made of a small, minute aircraft that was able to be put in a syringe with a man who had been reduced to size into microscopic size to go within the body for whatever reasons, but that's very interesting. But when you look at going within, we don't mean physically, we mean like spiritual. But as Wayne Dyer tells us, this divine energy is everywhere, out there and within ourselves. And within ourselves, he calls it outer. This energy has two aspects. There is the outer aspect and the inner aspect. The outer aspect is what makes our hearts beat, makes our lungs work, and whatever happens within our body, metabolism and so on. That's what the outer part of this divine energy works. But there's also the inner one, the inner aspect of this divine energy, which is dormant. This aspect of inner energy, divine energy is dormant, but he says it can be awakened, and it's bigger. It's bigger than the outer universe. What you see all over the universe and everything, the stars and everything that you can see, the physical universe you can see, the inner universe is far much bigger, far much stronger than the inside. Than the inside, or rather, the inner is much bigger than the outside. So, but he says it's also possible to experience this divine light. He calls it divine light within ourselves. It's possible to experience it directly. And when you are able to experience it directly, it adds a radiance, some power, some light, unlike anything else that can be described with pictures or words. Yes, we saw earlier that we've always been running out there. We've been always chasing out there because we are seeing. What we are seeing is what we are chasing to follow and maybe grab and maybe experience. But one day in his book says the inner consciousness, the inner energy, the inner joy that you experience inside, once you have connected with it, it makes all joy experience in the outer world seem meaningless. Yeah. And he says, when the divine light within you is experienced directly, it adds a radiance to life unlike anything that can be described, just as I said, with words and pictures. And this compares with the outer world, the outer aspects of the divine energy, the outer aspect of it, which, as I said earlier, it is it controls the lungs, the breathing, the heartbeat, and so on. That outer aspect sustained us. It sustains us, enables us to live here, but doesn't provide the same fulfillment and bliss that we long for. Yeah, it can sustain you, but whatever you achieve in this outside world, whatever you grab and get, shortly afterwards, you will desire more. You will want more. You will want more. You can never be satisfied. You can never get enough. But it tells us the inner aspects is unlike anything else, and once you get it, it is an explosive. So he describes this inner aspect as a spiritual inner world, and he clarifies here that spirituality is not spirituality as far as he says, and I agree with him. Spirituality is not dogma or rules. It is an attitude towards God and the inner journey of enlightenment, expanding godlike qualities of love, forgiveness, kindness, and bliss within ourselves. And so, there's usual confusion when people talk about spirituality. Some people say, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. Because to many people, religion and spirituality are one and the same thing, which is not. You can be spiritual, but not religious. But then again, spirituality is so wide because there can be those negative side of spirituality and positive side of spirituality. But here we are discussing expressing the godlike qualities of love, forgiveness, kindness, and bliss within ourselves. And that can be obtained, as he said, it can be experienced directly by you. And maybe, not maybe, I know, you can experience those qualities, godlike qualities of expanding them, quality of love, forgiveness, kindness, bliss within ourselves. And that's what he talks about, or rather, that's what you get when you stop or reduce the time you spend looking outwards, facing outside, and changing and facing inside. And I explained this is possible and it will happen. And he quotes one of the gurus known as Swami Muktananda, and I'm going to share so that we can so that I can share what actually I can share. I'll share what. Give me just a moment so that I can share what he quotes, what Muktananda says about the experience, and we read together. Mysteries of the mind. This is what Swami Muktananda says. Because one day this inner light will have to get contact with it through each time you look within. One day, this light will explode and you will see it everywhere. Once you get connected, this light, one day it will explode. And once it explodes, you will see it everywhere. You will see the entire universe existing within it. The divine light of consciousness will begin to fill your eyes. And wherever you look, you will see it. You will see its radiance in people, in trees, in rocks, in buildings. You will see the same consciousness rising and falling in every wave of thought and feeling that passes through your mind. Everywhere your mind goes, you will find your own inner consciousness, the creator of the world. You will see the entire universe is contained within your own self. You will know that everything, all infinite modification of the world, is nothing but your own play. You will realize that it is you who are being reflected everywhere, and that it is your own reflection that passes before you all the time. That is a powerful message that eventually when you connect with this inner being, your awareness will expand. It will expand and everything you see will be a reflection of you. Yeah. And that's how you will feel connected with everything. And I think that is where the wise men or the people of the past said, whatever you do to anybody, you are doing it to yourself. Some of these things starts getting, getting together. So, there's a quote by Muktananda, and when there says that the universe is not a chaotic accident. It's not an accident, sorry, and it's not chaotic. Within the universe is the infinite intelligence in everything this infinite intelligence that created this universe, which is not in chaos. There is an intelligence that created it in the first place. And this intelligence keeps the planets in place. It makes the plants grow, the flowers to bloom, and you to walk about, and animals and everything. And this outer energy is finite. Everything within it can be recycled. Whatever the outer world is, every object is finite, and nothing new can come because it's already complete. So whatever happens is a recycling of the same object, so that everything that exists in the universe on Earth is made of the same stardust, same fine dust stardust. And he asks us to consider the 4 categories of on Earth, and this is the 4 categories of existence. There are minerals, there are vegetables, animal, and human. And I think the very first person to categorize this was Rumi, the poet Rumi. I don't know whether he was from Persia, whatever, but he was one of the very famous poets, and he described consciousness and said that consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, wakes up in animals, becomes self-aware in humans. The same consciousness that is within the whole universe. That consciousness, which is God, is asleep in minerals. It's there. Minerals are conscious, but asleep. Then the same consciousness dreams in plants, wakes up in animals, and becomes self-aware in humans. That's what Rumi said. And Wayne Dyer says that under microscope and at subatomic level, the minerals, the vegetables, the animal, the human, the bodies, they all look like, when you break them down to subatomic level, all content in the minerals, vegetable, animal that constitutes these categories, all them look alike. They all look alike. The only difference is the awareness within them, as when there's the awareness, but Rumi said consciousness, but it's the same thing. The awareness level in which of these elements, mineral, vegetable, animal, and human, the level of awareness is different, but awareness, conscious is there. Talking about minerals, when there is minerals, which includes stones, rocks, rubies, and so on, they have very little awareness. Yeah. But when studied under atomic level, as studied by microscope, when the same minerals are studied under microscopic, when they use microscopes to study the stones, they seem alive. They become alive, dancing and changing. Suddenly the rock, the stone, seem alive when you look at them under the microscope, dancing and so on, and jumping all over. They're alive. And I wondered whether this is what Jesus meant when he was when he was walking, I think, driving on a donkey to, was it Jerusalem? And everybody was hailing him, hail, son of, king of peace, and so on, hail, and so on. And so the Pharisees were angry about it, and they told Jesus to rebuke these people who are shouting, "Hallelujah!" and hail to the, to hail to Jesus. And after they asked him after the Pharisees asked Jesus to rebuke them, Jesus said, "If I tell you that this should hold their peace," meaning, if I tell you that these people should be quiet, the stones would immediately cry out. The stones will start shouting. If these people are the stones will be shouting up. Was he speaking about the same thing, that we know the stones are alive and they are vibrating? That's a question for another day. So as we've seen, minerals are alive in stones. When checked under the microscope, they have that awareness. We go to vegetables. As per Wayne Dyer, vegetables, they have the same physical elements, but much different level of consciousness. Vegetables' energy can reproduce, bear fruit, stretch toward the sunlight, protect itself from invaders. So you can see vegetables are one higher level from minerals. They can do all that. They can reproduce, bear fruit, stretch toward sunlight, and protect themselves from invaders. What's also interesting is that vegetables feed on minerals. Yeah. Okay, we go the second higher level. We go to animal. Animal are even have greater even awareness than vegetables and minerals, because animals can mate, they can plan for the future, they teach the young ones about life, they migrate, so that they have higher awareness, but slightly lower than human, because human, and as you know, we said earlier on, vegetables feed on minerals, animals which are high level consciousness feed on vegetables. So we go to human, who feed on everything almost. Human have power to make contact. Okay, apart from having all that, what minerals have vegetables and animal at a higher level of consciousness, the human have a power to contact the organizing intelligence. Human have power to contact the organizing intelligence, that is God, and create life of bliss. Up to animals. Animals cannot go higher and contact the infinite intelligence. Have you ever seen a cat or a cow pray or get connected to God? No. But humans have that capacity. Apart from what else the animals and the video can do, humans have the power to contact organizing intelligence and to create a life of bliss. That's the highest difference. Human can know the divine organizing intelligence, and which is part of us. This infinite intelligence is part of us. And we need to make contact with that part of awareness. So he tells us, after knowing all that, after knowing that we can look within ourselves and see a whole bigger world that is much higher, much more than the outer world, he tells us we have that power because we are above the animals. Our consciousness level is much, much, much higher. And so we need to begin to look inside at who we are and why we are here, instead of outward to the physical world and things within it. Yeah, the book is the chapter is quite long, and technically we will kind of stop looking at it now at this point, where we have reached, so that next time when we come back, we shall look at where we are here, the reason we are here. The reason we are here in this life, in this time and space. And also we shall learn the difference between nowhere and now here. because there's a difference between nowhere, and now here. Same alphabets, but the way you separate them gives you the difference, nowhere and now here. So that is what we can discuss today. It's part of chapter 1 of Wayne Dyer's book, and we'll continue with the same. We'll continue. We'll continue with the same as we go. And in general, we have looked. I think it's just half, not even half. Yeah, about half of book 1, or rather chapter 1 of Wayne Dyer's book. Then we shall pick from there next week as we continue. We go along. And so we are now coming to the end of this first episode. As I said, we shall be coming every week at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Sunday. Every Sunday at 8 o'clock. That's 17 hours GMT. And Bliss Oasis Ministries, as I said, is a part of Bliss Oasis Africa. Bliss Oasis Africa gives counseling services, life coaching, among other, services. And for details, for more details about Bliss Oasis Africa, we are going to put a link to our website at the comments below. And also, we ask you to like this page, Bliss Oasis Ministry Facebook page, and also go to YouTube, Bliss Oasis Ministries. And we also normally have another online program every Thursday evening. That is a light touch, where myself and my co-host Wanjiro Mure speak also about a lot of other metaphysical stuff. So I invite you again next week on Sunday, 8 o'clock, so that we can go deeper and discuss more about Wayne Dyer's book. And whatever else you may want us to discuss, you can leave me a message on the comment section or send me an email. We are going to put an email address below. And so thank you very much. And until next week, next Sunday at 8 p.m., when we meet again to discuss many things, including Wayne Dyer's book. That is Your Sacred Self. Let's meet there. And in case you may want a copy, we have a PDF copy of this book. If you want a copy, just comment and then we can send you a copy. Thank you very much, and God bless. And all the best.